Welcome to a further Road to Spain video from the Association of Foreign Property Owners Spain, AFPO. The subject covered by this podcast video is obtaining an NIE. This is the first hurdle on the road to Residency of Spain status, which gives you the right to live in Spain. This recording is made in February 2020. It's one of the association's Road to Spain collection of step-by-step information and tutorial videos. On the subject of preparing to live in Spain. When you start preparing to live in Spain, you're likely to need to obtain an NIE. But you might already have an NIE, and you may not even know it. The NIE is a number such as X-123-45678-R that is assigned to foreigners who have an economical and social interest in Spain. That is the official legal definition of what the number is about. Having an NIE number does not mean that you have resident status with permission to live in Spain. It is a simple tax identification number that allows Spanish authorities to find you and to identify you. You may already have an NIE number if, for example, you have purchased a property in Spain. You could have purchased a property without being a resident, but not without an NIE tax number. Not at least if you purchased it in your own name, as opposed to through a company. You may already have an NIE number if you have ever worked in Spain, even if only for a few weeks. You could have worked, for example, in a temporary job for several weeks without being a resident, but not without an NIE number. And your NIE lasts forever. Even if you were just a student working behind a bar or as a waiter to finance a holiday, that NIE is still valid today. Most confusing of all is that in that situation, you would have been a tax resident, eligible to pay tax, though still not a resident, meaning a resident able to live in Spain without restriction. You may have an NIE already without knowing anything about it. For example, if you have been arrested in Spain. Require an NIE to be able to conduct the necessary fiscal activities that living anywhere calls for, and in this case living in Spain. But having an NIE number alone does not mean that you have the legal status as a resident in Spain able to live for an extended period in the country. Alongside an NIE comes residency status. So next let's look into how to obtain residency in Spain. If you want to move to Spain, you should think about residency first and foremost. Are you planning to become a resident, and how will you do that? There are three initial questions to ask yourself. Question one is, what passport holder are you? Do you hold an EU passport? If you are from the UK or from the Republic of Ireland, then you do, for the moment. In a while, however, passport holders in the UK will not be holding an EU passport, whereas passport holders in the Republic of Ireland, of course, will. Question two, are you a family member of an EU citizen? Question three, do you hold a non-EU citizen passport? We shall look at all three scenarios and provide a short introduction of how to start and how to move on from whichever of those three is relevant to your situation. Information podcast video takes you a distance along whichever is the appropriate path and can lead on to tutorial podcast videos that focuses on your particular pathway and holds your hand down the road to success. The Association of Foreign Property Owners, AFPO, in Spain, AFPOS, supports its members, which means associate members, which is free, or full members, which involves an annual payment of £150 or £15 per month, with several series of information videos that lead on to becoming tutorial videos. The information video opens your mind to the topic, tells you all the things that you need to know about it. The tutorials take you step by step, by the hand, to whatever is your goal. And these have become known as informatorials. In the information section might be 3 or 2 or 1 podcast video, and then the tutorial section might be a further 3, 4 or 5. Residency for EU citizens is straightforward. If you have an EU passport, then the process is quite simple. Though if you are a UK citizen here in February 2020, then after the 31st of December 2020, the position will have changed, and you will need to visit the post-Brexit updated version of this tutorial that we are in the process of making. With an EU passport today, whether you are from the Republic of Ireland or the UK, you can come to Spain at any time. You do not need a visa, as the citizens of some other countries do. Our members include citizens from English-speaking countries such as Canada and Australia and the United States, and those folk require a visa to visit Spain. But as an EU citizen, you can enter, for example, one of the Spanish tourist territories and just start your life in Spain. But if you plan to live more than 3 months in Spain, you should register as a resident. And to do that, you have to book an appointment with the local police office. Now, you'll find that advertised in phone books and at tourist offices, and attend an appointment in person, along with your passport and the €12 fee as it stands today. You will have to provide several other documents showing that either you have a job contact in Spain, or you are registered as self-employed, or if not, you will have to provide proof of financial means. You will have to hold private health insurance that is similar in what it provides, what cover it provides to the public health system in Spain, or else be covered by the public system in Spain. You will need a padrón, which is the registration of your existence at an address, your address, with the town hall, your local town hall. It is the padrón that demonstrates that you have a place to live in Spain and won't be sleeping on a park bench. Now, this could be the property that you have purchased, or it could be a rented address, or even if you are staying with friends, you could register at the town hall with that address, which is your padrón. After the documents have been reviewed by the police, you will be able to return and collect your green card, which is a green certificate, in fact. And that means that you are recognised as a resident in Spain. Let's look at residency for family members of EU citizens. If one of your family members is an EU citizen and you are not an EU citizen, you might have the same rights as other EU citizens, but that position first has to be recognised, and AFPOs will be happy to assist you in addition to the tutorials that this podcast video is part of. Family members that can be considered in this bracket are spouses, minors or children, adult children who still depend on the family, and in some cases parents. But you must check on your specific circumstances to make sure that your family falls under the regulation. And that is best done by AFPOs, if you desire that, or of course other professionals are available also. Where your spouse or any other family member holds an EU passport, before entering Spain, you should check with the consul in your own country that you do not need a visa to enter. If you are in one of the countries that do not need a visa to enter Spain for tourist purposes, you don't need to do that. And so members who live in the British Isles, either in the Republic of Ireland or in the United Kingdom, do not need to do that at this moment, whereas members of AFPO or AFPOs who are in Canada, the United States and Australia, as we have said, do. If the consul says that you do need a visa to enter Spain for tourist purposes, you must get a visa before arriving in Spain that allows you to join your family. Once you've filed your application and it's been approved, you will have to apply for an identification card, which will be different from that held by EU citizens, so different from the identification card that your family member has. It will have your photograph on it, and it will be valid for 5 years. And that card will allow you to work, study, and enjoy the citizen rights of residing in Spain for 5 years. Moving to residency for non-EU citizens, if you hold only a non-EU citizen passport and are not a family member of anybody that we've just been talking about, you should apply for a visa before coming to Spain. The rules are very simple. Without a visa, you cannot enter Spain if you plan to stay longer than 3 months. And you should get that visa before your journey to Spain. There are different types of visas. 1 is a student visa. 2 is a work visa. 3 is a business visa. And 4 is a golden visa, which you can obtain if you purchase a property for more than 500,000 euros in Spain. And there are 1 or 2 other types of visas also, which we won't bother about here. So let us summarise. The main rule is that you should check on the requirements before moving to Spain by speaking to the nearest consulate to your place of residency to find out what exactly the legal situation is for you. Even after entering Spain, the process is not yet over. You will need to find accommodation and then register that address with the town hall, the ayuntamiento. After that, you must go to the police office to do the fingerprinting and to obtain the residence card. The residence card for foreigners is called a TIE, and that sometimes becomes confused with an NIE, which is a number, but they are 2 different things, as we started out explaining at the beginning of this podcast. Once you have obtained your residence card, you can relax and enjoy Spain, but not for long, because in a year you need to renew your permit. I hope this has been helpful. Good day to you.